As you probably know from my other video, I don't know which order you're watching. Um, I'm heading to Europe again later this week, and a lot of people have wondered how I've been able to travel on pretty modest means. Especially people in the US are not really accustomed to large-scale travel. I know from having traveled a lot of places that the US is quite underrepresented. Um, the three countries that I would say you would consider not overrepresented, but more substantially so, are especially Germany, Australia, and to some extent Canada. Per capita, they travel a lot more than Americans do. And Germans travel more than any other nationality and spend the most per capita as well. Um, but for me, I've said it in my blog slash website, tarotworldtour.wordpress.com, that what has helped me on the ground is staying in youth hostels. And I don't recommend that you do it alone the first time that you do it because it's just an adjustment process. But once you get accustomed to it, it basically slashes your travel overhead by about 60 to 80% if you're traveling alone. If you're traveling as a couple or in a group, sometimes it still makes sense, but the benefits are somewhat eroded. You want to, well, in fact, they do have couple rooms in these facilities, and I still recommend that people travel that way because you're more apt to meet other people and learn more. Usually with a cruise, you get quite insular and don't learn as much. The same with a hotel. It's not really appropriate behavior in the same way to start engaging with others there. Whereas in a hostel, very often within an hour or two of arriving, I'm already out on the town with new people, and I've never had a problem. You can pretty much size things up as you go. But another thing I do recommend, at least as a starting point, is Orbitz.com. And also, instead of trying to get a week here, a week there, traveling in another country, it's better to even maybe lose some wages and go in one large chunk and save some money that way. And one feature, I'm hoping that this is okay to show this, but I'm doing it really as a promotion of something good. There is the multiple city or multi-city feature on Orbitz, and if you go there, you can click varying destinations. And a good way to travel is called open jaw, and that means that you fly into one city and out through the other. Because if you're also going to be doing pretty wide-scale travel, more than likely you're going to have to backtrack and travel in straight lines and then reverse them, which is not as cost effective. So, for instance, this time that I'm flying to Europe, I'm flying in through Lisbon, Portugal, and flying out through Copenhagen, Denmark, rather than having to fly back to Lisbon before leaving the continent. And I know for sure that this will save at least $200. I'm also having a 20-hour layover in New York City, and doing this to see a friend that I haven't seen for 5 years. I did this once before with her, and it doesn't really add that much to your cost. I know in this case it put about $80 more into my flight path. Round trip, it would be about $250 to go there from Kansas most of the time. And since I'm not returning from there, I'm saving time as well. So just those two steps through the multi-city feature, it did take me about 4 hours to decide my flight paths and what was most practical in terms of the hours I would be arriving places and things. But just those two planning steps saved me about, let's see, $370 at least. So really almost anybody can afford to travel, and it is the only time that you can be pretty much uninhibited as long as you don't lose control. And I think that it has tremendous returns. So I send you to Orbitz.com to look at the fares and see what you can do. All the best, guys. Bye.